Hi guys, it's Kiyako here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build of a requested famous singer's home with a dark secret. This was requested by Asia Graham. You requested this like a month ago. I'm so sorry this took me so long to get to. I actually did like several versions of this build where I was trying different like architecture styles, and I was playing around with like, oh, what could the famous singer's like secret be and all this stuff. And it took me a while to come to this build. And I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out, especially the exterior architecture. I went with this kind of modern, industrial, kind of Japanese vibe to the architecture. Just because, I don't know, I tried a bunch of different, like very luxurious, like California style mansions, and I just ended up getting very like white, plain, boxy, kind of minimalist builds, and I wasn't super happy with them. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I went with this build, or this style of architecture instead, which is still pretty, you know, modern, luxurious, minimalist, but it just has more of a unique touch to it than rather than being like an entirely white, cold, very, I hate to use the word bland, but that's kind of what my old builds were looking like when I was working on this. So yeah, I actually think this turned out pretty well. So the famous singer's dark secret. Some of you might find this kind of weird and random, but here's what I came up with. So what I came up with is that this famous singer is not actually the voice of that people think that this person is. This famous singer has a sister who they keep locked in their basement, and their sister is the person who is really the voice on all this famous singer's like albums and stuff like that. So the famous singer, who I haven't really named or anything like that, but she is like world renowned, you know, like Ariana Grande kind of level is what I was imagining, but somewhere early on in her career, because she's not that good of a singer, she, I don't know, kidnapped her sister or something, or like blackmailed her sister or something into like being the voice behind all her records and her music, and she became famous through that voice. And at some point she locked her in the basement. Now she's keeping her prisoner. So I know that's pretty weird, kind of intense, a little bit dark, but you know what? I think it's an interesting storyline. I thought about like a lot of different, you know, dark secrets that this person could have. I had like ideas about, oh, like maybe the singer is like married, but like their child isn't like really like his kid, it's like someone else's kid. And I thought about like all these different things, all these different like scandals and twists, but I wanted the dark secret to somehow be a part of the build itself. So I thought, you know, trapped sister locked in a basement could be something I could build. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Let me know what you guys think. Asia Graham, I hope you like this build. It was very fun to do, especially coming up with the concept was especially very fun for me. So here I am just, you know, laying out the house, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I have, not a problem, but I don't feel very confident in doing like very extreme, modern, luxurious builds. I'm not really good at doing like, because the reason I was hesitating so long to do this build is because the idea of a famous singer, in my mind, I was like, oh, that means they have to have like a really big, rich, wealthy house. And big builds are super intimidating for me just because they're a lot of work and it's a lot of layout and lighting and setup, and I was just very nervous that it was just gonna be a lot of work and I would be discouraged and I would get, you know, tired and stuff. This one actually didn't take that long to do. I think because even though the lot itself is very huge, the actual build space that I ended up doing is not actually that big. I'd say this is probably a medium-sized house that kind of appears to be larger than it actually is. But yeah, here I am setting up the basement area. I put windows to the pool, and that's gonna be the kidnapped sister's room back there, and I thought like seeing the pool through the glass could be like a really interesting touch. But here I'm just lighting all my spaces so I can see what I'm doing, putting in my floorboards. So I use a mix of concrete and wood because that was kind of like my industrial vibe with mixed with like the modern and the Japanese. I might in the future do like a smaller scale version of this style, because I've never done this style before, like industrial modern Japanese. It's a very specific kind of style. But I was inspired while doing this by what it was looking like. So maybe I'll do like a smaller scale version with this kind of look to it. But here I'm just setting up a living space. I kind of figured because this famous singer has, you know, a kidnapped person in her basement, that she probably wouldn't be having like a lot of guests over or anything like that. So I wasn't really making this like a party house that like a very rich celebrity might have. I made it more of a cozy kind of home instead. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. What would you guess, or not what would you guess, but if you had to do a build like this, what would you make this person's secret be? Like, what is the effed up thing that you could put a twist to in this person's life or in this storyline? I had so many weird ideas about what I could do. I was like, oh, maybe she's like a serial killer, you know, like maybe she's a famous pop singer who like kills her fans or something. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to portray that in my builds? Like have like pools of blood everywhere? Nah. So instead I went with this. Yeah. So here I'm setting up a little dining space. Again, it's like a little small, little cramped for like what, you know, a major celebrity might have, at least in my mind, I don't know. But I think that's kind of, I think it works. It definitely works. It definitely looks expensive, I think, especially with the location of this lot, and like it overlooks like the entirety of Los Angeles. So definitely a pricey piece of real estate. Setting up the kitchen here. This kitchen is massive. Like it's this entire room, and it's kind of huge. Probably a little bit too big of a kitchen, because if you want to walk across the kitchen, it's kind of a long walk to walk from one counter to the other counter with the sink and stuff. So I don't know how practical this kitchen is, but it's pretty. I like the wood tones. I think it's cool. Put in a coffee machine over there because, you know, this person's got to have coffee. Let's see, putting in my counters. I wanted a really big counter space, really big tabletop. Then I put in some stools just because I had this huge empty space in the middle of this kitchen. I had to fill it up. So counter and stools, and then I just put an extra little dining space over here. Even though this person doesn't have a lot of guests over, they have like a lot of seating areas, so don't know what they do with it. Maybe they just have like family over, or like people who are like in on the whole like keeping the sister in the basement thing. Like maybe like her manager is in on it, and it's like, maybe it was like her manager's idea, and like she's not super evil, but her manager is, and who knows. Yeah, anyways, setting up this room. There are two rooms other than the basement. This is like a guest room. The master bedroom is on the side where the singer sleeps. But yeah, I'm just setting up a guest bedroom here. There's not a lot in this room just because it's a guest bedroom, so, you know, not a lot of personalization or anything like that. So just put in like a little console, little dresser, a clothes hanger, put in, let's see, I put in some like bed slippers under there, and then I just put in some like lotions and soaps and stuff in the little cabinet. And then we're gonna set up the master bathroom over here. I like the way the shower is, where it's like on the wall but separated by these like glass walls. I thought that was really cool. I'm pretty sure that's from Peacemaker's new custom content bathroom set, which I talked about in the past before. I think it's really cool. I like it a lot. And then we're gonna move on to decorating the singer's bedroom. I kept it pretty simple. Honestly, it's not like super luxurious. It's kind of pretty chill. But again, like, I mean, I don't know, like celebrities are people too, right? So would they really have like a majorly luxurious, insanely decorated bedroom, or is it just like a chill place where they sleep? I don't know, because like the more that I think about it, like if she's like a really famous singer, she would go on tour, right? And obviously in this storyline, she would go on tour and like lip sync to her sister's voice. But I guess that means she wouldn't be at home a lot. So maybe she doesn't use her room a lot. So maybe that's why it's kind of empty. I don't know. I really don't know what it's like to be rich and famous. I wish I did though, but unfortunately no. Anyways, picking out a carpet here took me a minute, but I chose that one. And then in this corner here we just stick a piano, because I figured she'd have like some sort of musical prowess. Like I think she can like play the piano and like compose and produce and stuff, but she's definitely not a singer, so she steals her sister's voice. Or maybe it's not her sister, maybe it's a random, no, it's more interesting if it's her sister. I don't think it should be a random girl. It's more interesting, like the family dynamic, you know? It's a little bit more messed up, you know? Yeah, anyways, setting up a little TV TV chill space up here. Just putting some pillows on the couches. I really like these like concrete floors. Like, probably wouldn't be that comfortable, probably very cold in the winter, but I just think like aesthetically concrete floors are like super interesting, you know? Like they just, I don't know, they just look so interesting to me. I like them, especially in this game. Anyways, now we're decorating the downstairs area. So there is the girls, the sisters' bedroom, which is actually ends up being pretty nice because I didn't imagine the famous singer to be particularly cruel. Like, I still think she cares about her sister and all that stuff. So she actually has a pretty nice bedroom here. And I think part of it is like she has to spend all her time here, right? Because she's like locked in this room. So I think it's relatively nice for the reason of the fact that she's in here all the time, you know? So it has to be a little bit nice, I think. So I set up the desk like in front of the water, which I thought would be really cool. So she could like read and write music while she's looking out into the pool. I like in my head I was thinking about it almost like a movie, like a shot where she's like writing music and she looks up and her sister's like swimming in the pool down facing her or something like that. Let me know if you can see it in your mind's eye. I think it'd be a really cool shot. Obviously if she ever had guests over, she couldn't let them swim because they would just swim and just see her locked sister in the basement, so that's a little bit of a logistical problem, but you know what, she's just not gonna have any guests over. And then on this side over here, trying to figure out what I was gonna do with this space. I thought about putting in a little TV corner, but then I was like, well, I think there's a reason she doesn't have a laptop. I think she shouldn't have television either, because like, I think the older sister would want her to be like totally disconnected from the world. So instead I just put it in an exercise machine, because you know, if she's trapped down there, she should probably have a way to exercise. And then moving back upstairs, I'm just setting up this little garden area. I just make this little garden area. I don't really do anything with it in terms of furniture or purpose. I just make it a garden that maybe like the sister walks through sometimes to like find zen or peace or something like that. And then over here, just put in some tanning chairs, or those are called. And that is the build. I hope you like this. Asia, I hope you like this build. It was pretty fun to do. Coming up with the concept and the storyline behind it was definitely very fun. Did a lot of brainstorming about what, you know, what's the most messed up thing I could make happen. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.